With the presidential race expected to be extremely close, the contest for a majority in the U.S. House is shaping up to be the tightest and most competitive race of this election cycle. In the 2020 election, only 16 congressional districts produced split results. 9 Republicans were elected in districts that Joe Biden carried, and 7 Democrats won in districts that Donald Trump carried. This marked the lowest number of split-ticket districts since World War II, yet given that there are no more than 50 to maybe 60 seats truly in play for either party, the battle for House majority might still come down to the dwindling number of split-ticket voters out there. In this video, I'll walk you through my latest data-driven forecast for the U.S. House. But before we dive in, please take a second to subscribe to my channel below. Currently, less than 1 in 4 of my viewers are subscribed, and your support helps me keep producing these videos as we approach Election Day. Thank you so much. Now, House Republicans, under the leadership of Mike Johnson following the ouster of Kevin McCarthy, head into this cycle defending a very narrow 220 to 212 seat majority. On the other side, Democrats are now led by Hakeem Jeffries, marking the first time since 2002 that someone other than Nancy Pelosi has led the party in the House. Looking back at the 2022 midterms, Republicans had a golden opportunity to secure a dominant majority. Joe Biden was historically unpopular at the time, and less than a quarter of exit poll respondents had a positive view of the economy. Additionally, the party in the White House, Democrats in this case, had lost seats in all but 3 midterms since 1862. With all these factors, news outlets and election pundits widely predicted a Republican wave. However, Republicans only netted a gain of 10 seats, leading to the most contested fight for the Speaker's gavel in American history. Democrats' saving grace in the 2022 midterms was the Supreme Court's reversal of Roe v. Wade, which significantly raised voter attention on abortion rights, a rare issue where Democrats hold a strong advantage in public opinion. The Dobbs decision helped energize voter turnout in several key special U.S. House elections leading up to the midterms, particularly in population centers with higher rates of educational attainment. Here, Democrats were able to persuade large numbers of moderate and independent voters who were highly engaged to swing their way. Additionally, the defeat of an anti-abortion referendum in Kansas by a whopping 19 points, a state Trump won by 15 points in 2020, was a clear sign that Dobbs was having a significant impact on swing voters across the country. In the end, had national Democrats made more efficient resource decisions in competitive districts, they might have even retained their House majority. That brings us to the 2024 U.S. House map. Democrats only need to net 6 seats to retake the majority, which is definitely within reach, especially considering Kamala Harris is likely to win the popular vote even if she loses the Electoral College. Notably, no Republican presidential candidate has won the popular vote since 2004, and with split-ticket voting on the decline, that trend puts added pressure on Republicans in House races. I have identified 52 competitive House races this cycle based on my own analysis and data sourced from across the industry. Republicans hold a 195 to 188 seat advantage in districts that are considered safe or likely for either party. While 50 may seem like a low number out of 435 districts, I argue that with the presidential race expected to be so close, there won't be a major wave favoring either party. That's not to say we won't see surprises. In fact, I fully expect a few unexpected races to emerge on election night. However, as of now, Republicans and Democrats are heavily favored in all 385 of these districts. Regarding the 52 battlegrounds, though, I've created a forecast that incorporates a range of key data points. The forecast accounts for incumbency and partisan lean, which evaluates how each congressional district voted in the past 2 presidential elections and compares it to the national average. Additionally, I factor in the 2020 presidential election margin in each district between Biden and Trump, the Congressional Voting Index, CVI, and a demographic-based prediction for the district that looks at factors like education, race, and income to predict which party the electorate is more likely to favor. These 6 data points combine to create the fundamentals column in my forecast. To enhance accuracy, I integrate these results with the average race rating from reputable election forecasters, including the Cook Political Report, Inside Elections, Sabato's Crystal Ball, Elections Daily, Decision Desk HQ, and 538. This layered approach provides a comprehensive look at the competitive landscape and helps ensure a well-rounded prediction for each battleground district. So that's the methodology. Now here are the projections. The House races projected to lean Democrat in the 2024 elections are those where the projected result based on all of the data points is between 4 to 8 points in favor of the Democratic candidate. This includes California's left-trending Orange County-based 47th congressional district, where incumbent Democrat Katie Porter chose not to seek re-election in favor of an unsuccessful U.S. Senate run. The fundamentals, along with most forecasters, favor Democratic State Senator Dave Min to succeed her. Other lean D districts include Nevada's 3rd, located just south of Las Vegas, and New Mexico's 2nd, where incumbent Democrat Gabe Vasquez faces a tough rematch against the Republican he narrowly defeated in 2022, Yvette Herrell. This race is very competitive and is on the edge of being downgraded to Tilt D. In Texas, the 28th and 34th districts in the right-trending Rio Grande Valley are also classified as lean D. While both districts are currently held by Democrats and the fundamentals still favor them, Republicans have made significant gains among Hispanic voters in this region over the last few election cycles, making them more competitive. Over in Alabama, a special session of the state legislature was called to approve a new congressional map, after the Supreme Court ruled that the previous one discriminated against African Americans. The court-approved map created a new 7th congressional district, which is majority black, and a near-majority black 2nd congressional district with a 49% black voting age population. Under the new lines, Biden would have won the 2nd district by 12 points in 2020. Every forecaster, including myself, has the Democratic nominee as the heavy favorite in this lean D race. Further north, Minnesota's 2nd district, covering the southern portion of the Twin Cities metro area, also leans Democrat. This district voted for Trump in 2016, but Biden won it by a margin almost identical to his statewide margin of 7 points in 2020. Illinois' lone competitive district is the 17th, which Democrats have held for more than a decade. Then Indiana's 1st district, where Democrats have held power since 1931, is also expected to lean Democrat, with incumbent Frank Mervon running for re-election in this Biden plus 8.5 districts. Then over in Pennsylvania's 17th and New York's 18th districts, both of which backed Biden by comfortable margins in 2020, Democrats Chris Deluzio and Pat Ryan are expected to hold their seats, with no significant Republican advantages in these areas. In New England, Connecticut's 5th and New Hampshire's 1st congressional districts lean Democratic. Both are on the upper end of this category, with Biden winning Connecticut's 5th by 11 points and New Hampshire's 1st by 6 in 2020. Unless there is a significant Republican wave, these Democratic incumbents are not expected to face serious challenges. This gives Democrats 201 seats in the U.S. House, now 6 more than Republicans, with 39 districts still outstanding. 11 of those are classified as lean Republican districts. Two of the strongest for Republicans include Montana's 1st, held by incumbent Ryan Zinke, and Texas's 15th, where Monica De La Cruz is the incumbent. Over in California, the easternmost 3rd district and the LA area 40th district both also lean toward Republicans. There are plenty of vulnerable seats in California for the GOP, but these lean on the safer side. In Colorado's 3rd district, Lauren Boebert, after a closer than expected re-election in 2022 and declining popularity, has opted to run in the neighboring, more heavily Republican 4th district. This leaves Republican nominee Jeff Hurd favored to win the 3rd district more comfortably. Iowa's 1st district leans Republican, though forecasters have begun shifting their ratings closer to toss-up territory as the race tightens. Wisconsin's 3rd district is also rated as lean Republican, as is Michigan's 10th district, which stands as the most competitive of the lean Republican seats, with a projected margin of just over 4% favoring Republican incumbent John James. In Pennsylvania, both the Republican-held 10th and 1st districts lean toward their incumbent GOP representatives, Scott Perry in the 10th and Brian Fitzpatrick in the 1st. Rounding out the lean Republican ratings is New York's 1st district, held by Republican Nick LaLota. With these updates, the Republican seat total climbs to 206, pulling ahead of the Democrats' 201, leaving fewer than 30 seats still awaiting a rating. Now let's move into the tilt races, where either party holds only a slight edge, with projected margins between 1.5 and 4 points. These districts are highly competitive and could easily flip depending on the final stages of the campaign and any late-breaking issues. For Democrats, 9 districts are currently rated as Tilt D. One of these is Colorado's 8th district, where Democratic incumbent Yadira Caraveo won this newly created seat by less than a point in 2022. Her victory was considered an upset as she trailed in the polls leading up to the election. However, she now benefits from the incumbent advantage and should face a slightly more favorable national environment for her party in 2024. In Nebraska's 2nd district, the race is also a presidential battleground, as Nebraska splits its electoral votes, awarding 2 to the statewide winner and 1 per congressional district. Joe Biden carried this district by 6.5 points in 2020, but it remains held by Republican incumbent Don Bacon. Most forecasters believe that this cycle could mark the end of Bacon's tenure, as the district's demographic profile continues to trend leftward, favoring Democrats by more than 6 points. Virginia's 7th district also leans Democratic, though incumbent Abigail Spanberger is retiring to run for governor in Virginia. Her likely successor, Eugene Vindman, is a strong get for the party, and the district was redistricted to be more Democratic following the 2020 census. Moving on, both remaining districts in Ohio receive a Tilt Blue race rating. Ohio 13 is held by Democratic incumbent Amelia Sykes, who succeeded Tim Ryan in 2022 as Ryan ran for the Senate. Again, this was an upset as most forecasters had Sykes as an underdog headed into election night. In Ohio's 9th district, on the other hand, Democratic incumbent Marcy Kaptur just keeps on defying the odds in this Republican-leaning district. It's got a PVI of R plus 7.3 and a pro-Republican demographic profile, yet Kaptur won by 13 points in 2022 as she has held this seat since 1983. Down in North Carolina, the 1st district tilts to the incumbent Don Davis, another one-term incumbent. He was first elected in 2022 with 52% of the vote. And like Caraveo over in Colorado's 8th, Davis now has the incumbency boost in what is a slightly Republican-leaning district with a PVI of R plus 2.7. Up in Pennsylvania, the 7th tilts blue. The district was modestly altered by redistricting, losing Stroudsburg in exchange for Carbon County. This made the district more conservative with a PVI of R plus 3.8, but it voted for Joe Biden by more than 2 points in 2020. Incumbent Democrat Susan Wild was most recently reelected in 2022, winning 51.0% of the vote. Now finally up in New York, the 4th district is based on the South Shore of Nassau County and is entirely within the town of Hempstead. The incumbent is Republican Anthony D'Esposito, who flipped the district with less than 52% of the vote in 2022. He enters this cycle as an underdog against Democratic nominee Laura Gillen, as the district is quite Democratic-leaning, with a PVI of D plus 10 and a demographic profile that suggests Democrats should win by more like 14 to 15 points. Democrats are also favored in the 22nd district here, which is on the edge of lean, as Republican Brandon Williams is perhaps the most vulnerable Republican incumbent on the map this cycle. This Syracuse-based district voted for Biden by double digits in 2020. Now, those 9 races lift Democrats up to 210 seats, back ahead of Republicans for now as we shift over to the grand old party's tilt states now, of which there are 5, starting out west again in California's 41st. Democrats are gaining some momentum here as they look to unseat Republican incumbent Ken Calvert. His Democratic challenger, Will Rollins, mounted a formidable campaign in 2022 and has demonstrated exceptional fundraising capabilities for the 2024 race. Over in Arizona, the 6th district tilts Republican. This is held by one-term Republican Juan Ciscomani, who flipped the seat in 2022 with 50.8% of the vote. He will again face Democrat Kristen Engel in November. But Ciscomani has proven to be a solid candidate and an excellent fit for this district, despite its gradual leftward trend. Up in the Midwest, Iowa's 3rd district is another key battleground. In 2022, Republican Zach Nunn flipped the seat by narrowly defeating Democrat Cindy Axne by just half a point. Nunn is favored, with Trump likely to win the district again in November and now holding the incumbent advantage. Virginia's 2nd district, centered around Virginia Beach, also falls into this competitive tilt-R category. Similarly, in New Jersey's 7th district, Republican Tom Keene Jr. is favored. Keene won the seat in 2022, flipping it from Democratic control, and Trump carried the district in 2020. Alrighty now, those 5 seats lift Republicans up to 211, once again leading Democrats 210. 14 districts remain, and they each have projected margins that classify them as pure toss-ups. These are Washington 3, Oregon 5, California 13, 22, 27, and 45. Alaska's at-large district, so the statewide seat currently held by Democrat Mary Peltola, Arizona's 1st, Michigan 7, and Michigan 8, New York 22, New York 19, Pennsylvania 8, and finally Maine's 2nd. With a split as close as this, the outcome in these 14 districts could very well decide which party wins a majority in the House this November. Right now, they're effectively coin flips. Anyways, that does it for this 2024 U.S. House election map prediction and analysis. Let me know whether you agree or disagree with these ratings in the comments below. Shout out to my channel members in the description below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel down below, and please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. You can check out more content from my channel here, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. EP out.